Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. As promised in my previous video, today we are going to be working on creating brand new thumbnails for my chapter 2 and fingers crossed, hopefully chapter 3. As some of you know, I lost those thumbnails because my iPad mini broke down, and I did get the new one. Here you can meet the junior. They look pretty much the same. I didn't yet worked on any of the thumbnails or any of the future chapter thumbnails during my commute as I used to.
As you can see, I'm still working like I used to, with split screen open, having my novel on one side and Procreate for sketching on the other.
I'm a bit cautious of doing things only digitally this time around. Today we are going to be doing them the old-fashioned way, by hand, similarly to how I did my prologue. And we're going to be using my trusty notebook, which I dedicated exclusively to this project. It might interest you to hear what's going on with my comic book pages. I'm actually making really good progress. I inked so far 3 pages. So next to my trusty cover page that you saw, we have the first page, and I don't think I'm spoiling anything of my comic if one day I decide to share it with you guys, because these are just like the three first pages of the prologue, which I reckon you can see. So we've got the first page, we've got the second and the third one, and I think they are coming along pretty nicely. With that said, I still haven't ordered my screen tones, and I'll tell you in a minute. But yes, what I was looking for is the screen tones. I couldn't find the package that I wanted to order from Etsy, and the ones that I do find online are extremely expensive. And now I'm really debating, should I invest this money? Because if I were to get really all of the screen tones that I would like to use, it's going to cost me too much. Especially since I never used them before. Like, I'm worried I'm gonna invest all that money and then realize I need a lot more than what I ordered, because they are not readily available here where I am. I don't know, I'm just at the point where I'm seriously considering, should I invest this money to get the screen tones? I definitely want to try them out. Maybe I'm going to invest just for the cover pages, but I'm also considering maybe to try it digitally. Now, what we're gonna do and how we're gonna work today, I'm gonna pull up the chapter that we're gonna be working on my little trusty iPad, and then we're gonna be working straight into the notebook and bringing these pages to a concept. Then we can later transfer to the actual pages as you saw me working for chapter 1. My biggest goal for today is to try to get these thumbnails ready, because that would set me back on track where I was prior to losing them. And this would also open up the possibility of not only inking the prologue and chapter 1, but also simultaneously starting to work on getting the sketches done for chapter 2 on the big papers. So that's the goal for today. Grab something to drink, grab a project of your own, put me in the background. Let's all work on something fun. And without further ado,
Thumbnailing is a crucial part of comic creation, as it helps bring the story to life in the quickest and most efficient way possible. So let's dive in. To give you a bit of a context, the script I'm working with is my novel, not an actual traditional comic script. This presents a unique challenge because I need to select in this phase which scenes I'm going to capture and break down this dense text into visual scenes. My second chapter is full of dialogue, which can be tricky when trying to keep the visuals engaging. At this stage, my main focus is on exploring how many panels and scenes I'll need to convey the story effectively. I start by thinking about the overall flow of the scenes, how one panel can lead to the next one, and how readable each of the scene is. Since this chapter is mostly talking heads, I'm experimenting with different perspectives to keep it visually interesting. I'm using techniques like extreme close-ups and over-the-head shots to add variety and depth. And as you can see, my sketches are really messy, but that's okay. At this stage, they only need to be clear enough for me to understand what's going on. The goal here is not to create a polished piece of art, but to lay down the structure. However, I know I need to improve the readability of my sketches, and this is something my mentor in concept art school always reminded me of. But for now, I'm more concerned with just establishing the flow of the scenes and the structure of the panels and overall layout of both of the pages together. To experiment with more complex layouts in future chapters where the action or the mood of the scene calls for it. So moving forward, chapter 4, the pace is starting to pick up. The first two are rather full of information, and of course there is a reason for that, but I'm quite looking forward to coming to chapter 3 and 4.
Hi guys, so I just wanted to use this opportunity to tell you a bit more on how I actually go about this process of creating thumbnails. Thumbnailing for me is the quickest way to tell or to bring this story alive. Are these scenes working? Where should this text bubble come? Are they worthy to be in the scene? Should I cut things out? I'm not constrained by, does it look realistic? Does it look good? What matters to me is it telling the story and is it evoking the right emotions? So thumbnailing is all about making sure I have the scenes that I want to have and that I capture the emotions that I want to have as well. It's also an exercise that we did in concept art school, that for each illustration you would do up to 6, 8, 10 thumbnails, different thumbnails, and all of the boring ones were actually in the first like 5 or 6 attempts, and then you start to really think outside of the box. I still think I'm staying true to my vision for the story, and in the end this is something that truly matters to me and what I wish for my comic. So all of these things you have to look forward to.